Yes, please. All right.
Hey, everybody. This is Lisa,
Hey. And Faith.
and you're listening to Vet on This or That podcast.
Yes, vet on this or that. So vet on this or that is actually a potpourri, what I like to call a potpourri of shit. And not just shit, like shit that we go through, shit that we've come across, shit that we have accomplished or conquered. So that's what I mean by potpourri of shit. So welcome to this or that.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So first and foremost, before we get started, I just wanted to take a minute to welcome everyone to the very first episode of Vet on This or That. Thank you guys. So
Thank you.
I'm Lisa, and I'm just one of four friends that have decided a few years ago, we decided that we needed to do something together that would help in our healing process. We've all served the United States Army together, and we were deployed to Iraq from 2004 to 2005. Throughout this podcast, you will be hearing about our life as a soldier, as a civilian, and how we were able to maintain a 20 plus friendship. And so we want to start out this episode with just introducing ourselves, actually, and just giving you some background about who we are. And I just wanted to start out with, we were in the United States Army, and I joined the Army for a specific reason. That reason being that when I was younger, I was taken on a trip with my dad and my sibling to Texas, to Fort Hood, Texas, to meet and see one of my older brothers who was um, actually on active duty there. And once I stepped foot, Faith, on, I guess they would call it a compound at the time, but once I stepped foot on Fort well, damn, I forgot what I was saying.
Is it Fort Hood? Fort Hood.
I'm sorry.
Someplace in Texas.
Let me give y'all this disclaimer. I have a TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury, so I forget a lot of stuff, and we all have PTSD. But yeah, I was on Fort Hood, I was drawn immediately to the camaraderie, to especially the cadence and the uniforms of everything that has to do with the military and the United States Army. It immediately captivated me. I was in awe of the whole environment of what my little 8-year-old eyes were seeing. So I had made this pact with myself, and no one ever knew about it, that when I got older, I would join the United States Army, because that was something that I just wanted to do. I needed to do that for myself. And when I was 18 years old, about to graduate high school, I had said, when I turn 18, I am going to join the military. My boyfriend at the time talked me out of it. So that was that. And then I said, when I get 21, I'm going to join the military. Nobody's going to be able to talk me out of it. I'm going to be an adult, make my own decisions, do what I want to do. And fortunately and unfortunately, however you want to see this, 4 days after my 21st birthday, I had my first child. Happy birthday to me. So joining the military was not a part of my life anymore, so I thought. And life went on. I started lifing and adulting. You were married, had some more kids, and working for New York City Transit. Go MTA. Anyway, working for Transit. But one day I was off work and at my in-laws' house, and a recruiter knocked on the door, rang the door, but I don't remember which. And he had the wrong address. He was looking for a different house. And me, I invited him in, and I took this as my sign, my fate to, let's bring him in here. Let's, talk again. Offered him something to drink, had a nice conversation. And I don't know how many days afterwards, but I was going down to the recruiting office taking the ASVAB test. And of course, I passed the test and I picked a job, and the rest is history. And I just want to let you guys know this too. I was 30 years old when I joined the United States Army. So, I mean, if I can join at 30, you can do it too. Girl, it was a little hard, but I did it.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So, I mean, my story is definitely not similar to yours. I actually joined when I was in college. I was 22 years old, and uh, my roommate at the time, she was signing up for the military, and it was just something that sounded interesting, and I got a chance to talk to my recruiter, and his name was Fred Flynn. I hope he's still around. Hey,
Hi,
Sergeant
Fred.
Flynn. Hey, Sergeant.
Hey,
Hey, Sergeant
Fred.
Flynn. He was a recruiter. He was her recruiter, and what he did was he was just like, well, just come down and check it out. I was like, all right, no problem. We spoke to him and everything like that. She was already gung ho and ready to go. And me, on the other hand, I was just like, well, you got to talk to my dad first. I want to go. I would like to go. I need
Dad's
um
permission.
well, not just dad's permission, but I needed school loans paid. So somebody got to pay for this stuff. And daddy wasn't paying for it. And I know it fell on me. Those student loans are no joke. So I knew that I needed to do something. And when you graduate, you don't always get the job of your dreams. So but once you graduate 6 months later, you get the notice to start paying your school loans. So
Mm.
I was like, okay, well, you know what? Let me just talk to my dad. And so he went and spoke to my dad. I was thinking my father was going to say no, right? So I'm just like, okay, yeah, daddy's going to say no. I'm just going to
I'm
go
not
ahead,
gonna go.
.
I ain't joining no
Yeah,
army. Daddy gonna say no.
well, technically I didn't really want to join, but I was just like, I needed a fallback. So, dad surprisingly said yes, and I was like, oh shit. That-
You're in the army now.
so yeah, exactly. So yeah, I joined. I signed up. This was like 1997, 97, 98. I did split op, which was half. Uh, what was it? I did my AIT 1 year. I'm sorry, I did basic training 1 year, and then I did AIT the following year.
Oh,
But that's
okay.
a whole nother story. I'm not even going to get to that half of the story because it
Oh,
actually took me longer to get my AIT because there was a problem with my driver's license. Dun dun dun. Girl, there was an issue with my driver's license. That's a story to tell for another time. And stay tuned. That might be another episode, girl. So dun dun dun. I was stuck in Fort Lost in the Wood for a good while.
no.
Girl, bye. Yes, I was stuck in Fort
See,
Leonard Wood for a good
yeah,
while.
Fort Leonard Wood is in Missouri, and that's
Yes.
where 88 mics do their 88 mic training.
Yeah.
And
Oh, if you didn't know, we're 88 mics. We
we're
drove
88
trucks.
mics, right? We drive, we drove trucks in the United States Army, and
No.
and everybody that was an 88 mic had to go to, we call it Fort Lost in the Woods, because
Hmm.
lost in the woods when you go out there. But it's Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
No, we called it Fort Lost in the Wood, Misery.
Misery. You remember that
Sorry to all
cane?
the folks.
You
Sorry,
remember
sorry
the
to all the
cadence?
folks. Oh
They had a
God.
cadence called Misery, Misery, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know, because
what the
I
army
listen.
done to me. Yeah.
Yes. That was dedicated to everybody
Woo,
that was in
flashback.
Fort Leonard Wood.
And you get all
Shout
four
out.
seasons in one day
Yeah,
in Fort
shout
Leonard
out to
Wood.
Fort Leonard Wood,
Shout
Missouri.
out to Fort Leonard Wood. Yes,
I
yes.
mean,
No insult to Missouri. No insult to
no,
Missouri.
not at
We
all.
just called it misery because we were just there. That's
And
all it was.
we were, ooh, I don't want to say we were miserable, because we were in AIT training. We had already graduated basic. So I
Mm.
think the hardest thing, if you never go to a war, I think the hardest experience you'd ever have in the United States Army. And I say Army because I was in the Army. I can't speak for all the other branches, but in the United States Army, I think the hardest thing you'll ever have to do if you don't go to war is basic training.
Yeah, yeah, because you're talking about transitioning from a lifestyle that you're accustomed
Right. From
to a
being Lisa
lifestyle.
to
Yeah,
get off my grass, private, to just a
uh-huh.
private.
Get,
Like
get
they
get off the first sergeant's real estate. That's
Yeah,
my favorite.
they strip you from your identity. Like they strip
Yes.
you from everything. And I think the hardest part for me was the stripping process I'm talking about is because I was a grown woman married with children. Joined the United States Army, and I have drill sergeants that were younger than me telling me what to do. Let me tell you something, just about biting a bullet. I had to bite my tongue and girl, but I questioned myself so many times. Why in the heck did you join the army? Like, what is wrong? You got a good job. You work for the city. You married, got kicked. Girl, what you doing? And I got
Yeah,
these people yelling at me. My daddy don't even yell at me.
girl. Well, welcome to my family because all my parents did was yell at me. I'm not saying I was a hard headed child, but
But I was a
um,
hard-headed child.
yeah. I have my day. I have my days. I have my days where my brain was conflicted with my spirits. Okay, it
Let
is
the
what it is.
church
It is
say
what it is.
amen.
Get into old Negro spiritual up there. But no, like you're saying that even your parents didn't yell at you. Well, mine was just the opposite. My parents,
Well, I
they're
didn't say
African.
my parents didn't yell. I said my
Okay.
dad didn't yell. My
Oh, your
mama
dad did yell.
was a
Yeah,
god
okay.
dog at 5'2" megaphone. No,
Do we have
baby.
the same parents?
At least the same mama,
I
maybe.
think no, I don't know. Let's check the genealogy on that one.
Yeah.
But but no, well, my parents are African. I'm sure your parents weren't African, but my parents are African. All they did was yell.
Let my
So like,
siblings tell her we all African now.
but see, the thing was going into basic training and going to into AIT was that I was so used to being yelled at that when the drill sergeants would yell at
In the
us, I would
army,
just be like, "Oh my goodness, this just folks just barking orders. Like it is what it is."
back at home
And all,
again.
yeah, like I could have stayed home for this one, but
Well, you getting paid for them to bark at you down.
oh, and you know what? That was the upside. I think that was the upside. Well, shoot, something they
You
gonna
get
yell at me.
paid.
They gonna give me some money for this one.
You get
So
paid.
that's just how I felt about the whole situation. I'm like, okay, there's a gift back for this one. They're yelling
Right,
at me and paying me at the
exactly.
same,
Just
unless
as,
unless you got Article 15, and then you had a whole other
and,
animal to
and
work with, and
and then you give it back to them.
then you
Like
give it back to them.
I just made money and they took it back.
Absolutely, yeah, because my button wasn't put together, or I didn't blouse my pants the right way. My BDU, excuse me, because we ain't got pants. We got like BDUs. My uniform,
Right.
I was out of uniform,
Our
so
shirt was called a
basically,
jacket. Our hat
yes,
was called a cover.
yes,
We couldn't say bathroom. We had to say latrine.
latrine,
Yeah, I
latrine,
mean,
latrine.
it's almost like a whole new language. Actually, we had to learn being in the army
Mm,
because they didn't use regular words for everything. They shortened
mm-mm.
everything up. Like
Yeah, everything was an acronym.
exactly.
Yeah, and you didn't know what the letters meant either. Like
Right.
ASVAB, I still
Like
can't pronounce it.
as back.
Still can't pronounce it. I barely
I
know what
don't
the
know.
letters are.
If you guys know what ASVAB actually means, I mean, I'm gonna look it up afterwards. Send us something. We're gonna give you our email information. Let us know what ASVAB means, the ASVAB test. Because yeah, and listen, just we've been out of the United States Army for a long time.
A long time.
Actually, this year, January 20th,
20th,
made 21
21.
years that Faith and I have been friends, and 20 years that we left to go to Iraq because
Yep.
in 2003 we were supposed to go to Kuwait for 365 days and we wound up stuck at Fort Dix, New Jersey for
Oh, it's not Fort
181
Dix
days.
anymore. It's
It's
not Fort
not
Dix anymore. No, they done changed the name of it. It's McGuire Air Force. No, it's not. I don't even
not
think it's
McGuire.
McGuire.
McGuire was there already.
No, yeah, McGuire was there, yes, but they changed the name of it. I can't even remember the name.
Oh, we need
Um,
to find out.
shout out to the old Fort Dix.
The
How you
old
doing?
Fort Dix.
Shout out to the old Fort Dix.
We're
What's
part
the
of the
new
old
name of
Fort
it?
Dix.
Anybody who knows the new name of it, please put that in the email or something.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
yeah,
we don't know.
yeah, even the acronyms
That
have
is.
changed. Like
Yeah.
PLDC isn't PLDC anymore. PLDC is
No.
something. Yeah, it's a whole nother word.
We had to learn a different alphabet.
Oh, hmm.
A Alpha, B
Mm-hmm.
Bravo, C
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, E Echo. Like I know all of them.
D Delta.
But
You
right,
forgot
I
D. You know,
know
that
the
TBI
Delta.
got you forgetting that the D was,
The
there was a D in the middle, girl.
Oh yeah, that's
That's right.
but
Yeah.
yeah, so we had to learn, we had to actually, like I said, they strip you for everything. So we had to relearn, we had to learn stuff. And then when we got out, because Faith and I, in case you guys didn't know, we were reservists. We joined the United States Army as reservists. We weren't active duty. And what reservists mean, it means that, this is my definition. What it means is that we had a job
Mm-hmm.
and the military was our part-time job.
Mm-hmm.
They called us weekend warriors because we
Warriors.
only went
Mm-hmm.
to drill to the military 1 weekend a month and
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks out the year.
We
That
went
was
for training.
that
Mm-hmm.
we went for training. And what was that question? What we traded for? I'm glad you asked. Did you ask? Since we were truck drivers, we were doing what is it called? PMCS. We PMCS the vehicles.
Yes, yes. Because
PMCS.
I completely forgot what the
And of
PMCS
course
was.
that's an acronym for
Don't ask me what it is.
I
Oh,
forgot.
something
Something
maintenance
maintenance. PM
and something. Okay,
girl bye.
all
So
right. Weekend
I
warriors,
forgot.
please. Not even weekend warrior soldiers. Help, help a
And
sergeant
again,
out.
don't be talking about us. I did
Yes,
tell y'all in the beginning. I have a TBI. In case
I
you don't
just
know
got
that,
PTSD.
that's an acronym too. Traumatic
Yes,
brain injury, and
I
we
got
both
PTSD.
have PTSD, post
Mm-hmm.
traumatic stress disorder. So you have to excuse us. And again, we've been out, of the loop for many years. So excuse us for not being as smart as we supposed
As
to
we
be when it
used to
comes
be.
to as to these army acronyms. But
Exactly. Like
yeah, so
even though we didn't get hurt out there, we did lose a lot of brain
we
cells.
did lose a
Okay.
lot of brain cells. And that's another thing, guys. Send us shoot us a email and let us know, do brain cells grow back? Can you eat like some avocados or something to get them back? Or do they
I need a
never come back?
superfood.
Like,
I need a
right.
superfood.
You need a
Yes.
superfood?
Yes. I done. Let me tell you. Can I tell you something? Can I sidebar? Sidebar. So I used to take ginkgo biloba, right? And that's supposed to help with your memory. But I
Supposed
always
to.
forgot. I always forgot to take it. So guess what? Guess what ginkgo biloba did not do for me? Yeah, I'm gonna need my refund back. I'm
Listen,
gonna need a refund on the ginkgo biloba
so you took it when you remembered,
when I remembered.
but it didn't help you remember to take it the
It did
next
not
time.
help me remember.
Girl,
Well, you
bye.
know
You
what?
need a refund.
I'm not a pill taker. I don't like pills. I really
You
don't
you
like
you
pills.
need a refund. You need a refund.
I need a refund.
And speaking of refunds, I believe in my heart of hearts, and I want you guys to listen to me, and this is just me. I believe in my heart of hearts that Usher, Raymond, or his camp, somebody owes me a lot of money
Mm-mm,
because me
mm-mm,
and me alone, I was overseas in Iraq. Mind you, we were in a war zone. I had my little Sony Walkman with my Confessions CD in there, and I
mm,
played that thing
mm.
until I went back home to New York, which was over a year later. Like I knew every
I think
song, and
she
every
burnt the hole.
song.
She burnt the hole in that CD.
I sang every song on there. I knew every song, and every time I
Mm,
hear it to this day, I can tell you where I was. I'm back in Iraq again, and
mm.
it's crazy how a song does that. But I actually helped his sales go up because I know a lot of people that was with me overseas in Iraq went back and got that CD because of me.
Mm-mm.
Preguntas, you have a question?
No, I don't have no pregunta here. Okay. Ain't no preguntas.
That
Ain't
means
no
a
No,
question. You have
no.
a question?
I raised my hand because I could, yes, I did. I
You,
did buy the CD.
you did? Oh,
I bought the
see,
CD, girl. Yes, yes. It was
see,
good. It was a good CD. And
absolutely.
this month marks 20 years
Yes.
since the CD came out. So, happy anniversary, Usher and Confessions. How
And,
about
and,
that?
and, and actually somebody need to,
Give me a
holler
ticket to
at
the Super
him.
Bowl. Give me a
Holler,
ticket to the Super Bowl, Usher.
holler
So,
at,
boo.
that's right. He's going to be in the Super Bowl.
He sure is. Shout out
That's
to Usher.
right.
Shout
And
out to
20
Usher,
years,
who's
20
about to get me
years.
tickets to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Shout out to Mr. Usher Raymond
Shout
for
out to
20
Usher
years
Raymond.
of an excellent album. The
Excellent CD.
Confessions
Excellent.
was excellent, and
Yes.
it got me
Yes.
through a lot of difficulties. I want to say a
And
lot of
speaking of
difficulties.
refund, speaking of refund, Usher are gonna owe us some restitution because
Us who?
us, us who had to hear you sing, us who had to hear you sing, Usher owes us some restitution because not only did she burn a hole in the CD, I believe she burned a hole in some of these eardrums. Okay, but
Listen,
I listen. No shade, no
that sounds like
shade.
shade to me.
Don't let this shade dull your shine, girl. Come on now. No shade, no shade. Because her singing did entertain us. She was a walking karaoke. So
I am an entertainment
in
magnet.
her own right, in her own
Yes.
right, she was an entertainer in her own right. And I promise you, if she ever made it, if she were to make it to that Usher concert, the residency in Vegas, he would
Oh,
probably be singing to you. Yeah. Go ahead, superstar.
you know what? I'm
Go ahead,
starting to reminisce. I'm starting to reminisce.
go ahead, superstar. You got that.
But
Yep.
but
Hmm.
and you know, I want to say this too. You know, you guys see us and Faith and I, and we do a lot of laughing. And again,
Yes.
this is like I said before, you know, this is very therapeutic for us. And we're not laughing to mask anything or to hide anything. No, you know,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I'm in a great place in my life right now, and I know I can speak for Faith and say we're in a great place right now. It took a long time. It was a
Yeah.
long process. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but I'm in a great place right now, and I refuse to give power to the memories to set me back because I don't want to go back there again and have to dig myself out of a hole. So
Mhm.
if we appear happy, that's because we are.
We are
But it's
happy.
not trying to mask any pain or something because there's always going to be some pain with the
Yeah.
things that we've seen and did. And, you know, we lived in Iraq for over a year. And,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, we were truck drivers. That's what we were trained to do. But when we got to Iraq, they had other plans for us. So we
Yeah.
were, they were like, listen, 736 Transportation Company out of Bakersfield, California. Shout out to 736. They was like,
736.
we don't need no more truck drivers. We got enough of them. We
Oh
need some
goodness
S,
sake.
we need some MPs, some escorts. So guess
Yeah.
what? Tag your it. No training, no none of
Mm-mm.
that.
Mm-mm. You know how to
No
shoot a
nothing.
weapon?
Right.
That's all you need to do. As long as you know how to shoot a weapon, we'll train you on everything else.
And you could have said, no, sir, I don't know how to shoot a weapon. They would just pulled your card and seen that you got what, 25 out of how big? All you need is what, 25?
Hello, marksman.
That's it.
That's
All
all
you
you
need to be
need.
is a marksman. You a
Uh-huh.
marksman?
Hit the
You can
minimum.
shoot.
Hello, marksman.
That's it.
Okay. Hello, sharpshooter.
There
Hello,
you
expert.
go.
How you
Boom.
doing?
So as long as you know how to shoot a weapon, heck, and even if you didn't, you'll learn it when you shoot it.
It is what it is. Hallelujah.
So yeah,
So,
we were
yep.
trained to be 88
Mm.
mics, but I don't even know. Was there a MOS for what we did?
No, no, no. It was a. I think it was. I think it was one of them plug-in MOS because it ain't show on my
Yeah,
DD214. So
thank you. Because
it
every
is.
time I asked someone over there, they were like, you know, y'all are MPs, y'all escorts. Like, what? Like
That's all we
what?
did. We escorted up and down Iraq,
That's
up and
what we
down Iraq.
did.
I know you have a small story to tell.
What's so small? Which one? You know, I got a lot of small stories. Help me
Oh
out,
yeah,
because you know I'll be forgetting.
well, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm your TBI therapist. I'm here for that. Well, the story of like what ended up happening of us being separated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I know
um,
it makes you feel a certain kind of way when you
it
tell
does,
the story.
I'm gonna gather myself. But that's a touchy
And I
subject
understand, but
because
this is where I think the love story between the
Listen,
both of us actually
listen.
like transcended our relationship.
Yes. Listen,
Yeah.
guys, Faith is one of my favorite people on this earth.
Amen.
And
Thank
and
you. You are
I
too.
love her. Like she, like the other friends we're going to introduce you guys to, um, she literally holds space in my life. She holds space. So
Absolutely.
if
Concur.
she's no longer there, that's a hole. It can never be filled. And I'm telling you guys this. She's never heard me say this before. She holds space in my life. And like I said, we met in 2003 in the military in Jersey. And
But we were never this close in
no,
2003.
right.
2004 is what kicked it off.
And
Yeah.
then 2000, so what happened was we didn't go anywhere. We wound up staying in Fort Dix, New Jersey for 181 days. They sent us home, and about 5 months later or so, we got orders that we had to go to Iraq for 545 days. I was not in Faith's um, unit. I was not a part of her unit. I'm from New York. She's from Jersey. So my unit was in Fort Totten. Shout out to Fort Totten in New
Shout
York.
out Fort Titan.
And I was the only 88 mic in my unit, the 301st ASG. I
Hey,
was the
shout out.
only, shout out to 301st, if there's still
Yes.
a 301st. But I was the only 88 mic in my unit. So I got pulled to go to the 920th, which was her unit at the time.
Shout out to
And
920th who was
then, right,
disbanded.
disband. And
Yeah.
so we didn't go anywhere other than Fort Dix. So 5 months later, we got orders, and then I was being sent to um, Texas, to El Paso, to go to Iraq with this other unit, the 720th, for
736.
sorry, 736
736. Mhm.
for excuse, oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
we can't edit that out, so y'all gonna bless me. The 736, I was going to this unit. So I had made a quick call to some friends of ours and Faith in them, and just to see if they got orders too, because I'm the only one going. And I found out that they got orders too, and they were leaving. So they were on a different plane than I was, but our planes were landing in the same airport, and it's like an hour difference. So I waited for them. And so when we got to Texas, to El Paso, we did our training, whatever. On our way to Iraq, we have this group or this clique. Like, I'm a very overprotective person over people that I care about. And Faith happens to be a part of that clique or group, however you want to call it. So we were in the same unit, different platoons. I was in second platoon, she was in third platoon. And when we got to Kuwait, we had to stay there for 2 weeks because we had to get acclimated to the time and the weather
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Because it was totally different. 8
Hmm.
hours ahead, the time was, and the
Yeah.
weather, you don't even want to know what that was like, it wasn't good. But
Mm.
they told us that Faith's platoon, third platoon, was going to stay in Kuwait, and the rest of us were going to go to Iraq. And immediately I I broke down. I fell apart, and it was not good. Like, I was literally ready to, I
Fight.
don't want to say shoot people, fight. I was ready to
Fight.
fight
She was
people.
gonna fight.
I was
The
gonna
Queens
fight
came out.
people.
The
Yeah,
Queens came out.
absolutely.
Yeah. The
Absolutely.
whole New York came out.
South Jamaica Queens came out.
Shout out to South
And
Jamaica Queens.
shout out to South Jamaica Queen. What's up? And I was like, you guys are not going to take care of her. Like, I can't. So that was my story. Now, Faith, I don't know who told her what, but it got back to her, and she came over to me
It
to
didn't even
calm
get
me
back
down
to
again.
me. It barely got back to me. What happened was that we had gone to the camp where we were going to stay.
Well, they
Now
were
I'm thinking
taking
that
her.
everybody what yeah, and I'm thinking that we're all going to
Don't
was it
believe the hype,
Arajon?
girl.
Was it Arajon? Was
No, it wasn't Camp Arif John, but it was right by it.
Doha.
It was
Doha.
no, don't no. It was Camp Arif John, but
Oh,
you
okay.
guys weren't actually staying on Camp Arif John in the barracks and stuff. They had y'all in this tent
Intent.
city
Yeah,
stuff,
in
some
tent city.
tents.
Tent
Yeah,
city.
tent
Tent
city.
city. But anyways, so I'm thinking that everybody was going. It's not until when we got there that they said that third platoon was just staying there. I was like, oh shoot, okay, well,
Hence the
this is where it
separation starts,
boils
people.
down to. So I get back to our I don't know what it was, the whatever uh receiving area, whatever. And I get out to
Qatar.
I
Wasn't
get
it Qatar? I think it's
Qatar. I
Qatar.
think it's
I don't know.
whatever.
No, maybe not Qatar.
No, it wasn't Qatar. But
TBI,
there
TBI.
you go. But I'll tell you right now, I don't think it's Qatar. But we get back to the receiving center or the processing center, whatever you want to call it. And I barely got out of the vehicle when they said, fake Sergeant K, you need to go see Sergeant Crutch. I don't know her by Crutch. I know her by Lisa. So her name was always Sergeant Lisa. Okay. And they always call me Sergeant K. So anyway, we get there, and I see her arms folded, face frumped up and everything like that.
Red.
Yeah, she was red. She was red, like beet red. And I said, "What in the world is happening?" And all I'm hearing is one of my platoon sergeants, one of my sergeants telling her, "We'll take care of her. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of her." And I hear her say, "You're not going to take care of her the way I will." Like, how did they know? Who
My
told
weapon
them
is
this?
bigger than yours.
Basically. So she's all frowned up and everything like that, tears coming down her eyes and everything like that, telling her, "You're not gonna take care of her the way I'll take care of her. I don't trust any of you." So I'm like, "Lisa, what happened?" She was like, "They said that you're not coming back with us, that we're gonna go into Iraq and you guys are staying here, and I don't trust them. I just don't trust them." They had to promise her. They had to promise her that I would not go on any type of mission. They had to promise her.
You
So
see
while I
there?
was down there, you see that?
I
You see,
have power.
no, you just
Listen to the story, people. I was all the way in Iraq. Young girl from South Jamaica, Queens. Just a mere
she had
sergeant.
pull.
Just a
She had
mere
pull.
sergeant. And
She had pull.
I had some power.
So and we're gonna wrap this story up because we're gonna move on to our next segment after this. So we ended up staying in Kuwait. They ended up going into Iraq. And I never went on a mission until I finally got into Iraq. But I was assistant truck master while I was down in Kuwait, so I had to make sure that the roads, that the intel of the roads were clear. That my team, when they went out, they were going out into safe areas and everything like that. And then when I finally got into Iraq, when we
When she got
transitioned to
back with
Iraq,
me, then she had to do missions. But prior to that,
after a
the,
few months,
the
after three
promise
months, I
was
think it was
that
3 months.
the promise
Yes.
to me was that she wouldn't have to go out on any missions. And
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
and that's what it boiled down to. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like she's my girl. She's my rock. She's my ace. She's
Oh,
my heart. She's
don't
talks
make me
about
cry.
talking about, oh girl, bye. She talk about taking up space in somebody's life. I think that's where we all boil down to in terms of our relationship. I think the four of us, we all have a unique way in how we take up space in each other's lives. And I think that
Absolutely.
what makes this little uh misfit of women very
What makes it work?
what makes it work is that we never ask more or less of the next person. Like, we come with our true self. We come with our whole self. And it's I just think it's a beautiful thing
It
that
is.
there was times that we wouldn't talk to each other for months, not for anything bad or anything like that, but
Just
we just
life.
didn't talk. Life got in the way of living. And we had a stretch of time where we wouldn't speak to each other, but as soon as we got on the phone, it was like we just talked to each other just the other day. And that's what it felt like. And I think that, and then when we get together, I think, okay, so they came to my I bought a house, right? And so they came to my house, and
Yay.
yay, this 3 years ago. And beautiful them. Beautiful them. Like, when we get together, it's like this I can't even describe like the type of relationship that we have, that when we get together, the laughs never stop. I think we
Never.
we laugh so hard it hurts. I've laughed so hard with them, I've literally gotten a headache. A
Yes.
headache. And I'm like, okay,
I'm
I
glad you
can't
didn't say
anymore.
something else because I thought you was gonna say I laughed so hard with I peed on myself. I'm like, why would you tell
That
that?
might be you, not me.
Listen, not me.
I
I'll
don't got no
cry.
I ain't got no baby bladder.
Me either. Not me. No.
But No, but that's what we do. We get together, we laugh so hard, and that we end up like I get a headache. I get a headache, and um um my better half, my other half, he had the pleasure of meeting us. He's met me already, but
Yay,
but
yay, Gene.
yay, Gene. But but he's met the other half of me, like the other side of me. I don't want to say the other half of me, but the other
Yeah.
side of me. And he had the pleasure of being around us and taking in the laughs. Like he was never even in Iraq. He was never even in the military. But the fact that he he laughed at that half the crap that we talked about was a beautiful thing. But that's just a side note. So um but
Oh,
before we wrap up, that was just a little girl talk. I wanted
oh,
to talk about my girlfriends and how much I love and adore them and how much
love you
they
too.
they mean to me. And I don't think I could find another group of women who can just be their authentic self. That we just don't do fake.
Yes, we don't do fake.
We don't do fake. So brings us to our next little segment. I like to
Yeah.
call no good no better. And I always say, if you know good, you know better. If you know good, if you know what to do for yourself, you will do better in life. But if you're no good and you don't find that happy space, you can't progress and advance in life. And I think my no good and no better is the women that I've come in with. Knowing them has been a mirror for my life, and having them around has just been the three other mirrors that I don't like looking at, and they
Mm.
point that out to me. And because of that, because they expect I don't want to say expect, because they want so much better for me, they want so much more for me. It challenges me to look within myself and take that turn and become the better person that I want to be in life. And excuse me, I owe that to them,
Oh,
to challenge me to look inside myself and just be better for me. Not for the next person, not for them, not for
right.
any man or mother, father, whatever, but just for me. Period. And I pray that I am helping them I'm helping them in that aspect as well. And yeah, we just do that and we challenge each other, and I appreciate that. Love
Hey,
you.
I love this. I love that segment. No, the
Yeah. So
segment no good, no better. I love that
yes,
segment.
yes.
And we're going to be doing that, the closing of all these episodes. And another one we'll be doing is the quote of the day. And I already had a quote that I wanted to say, but just listening to Faith just now, it just made me think of a different one. And instead of the one that I was going to do, because it has, sometimes I'll just say quotes. It has nothing to even do with the topic, and sometimes it may. But I had one that I wanted to say, and I decided to change it. And the one that I changed it to is everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it.
Oh,
And
that is
and
awesome sauce.
and it's
Bring
everything
it
has
in, girl. Bring it in.
everything, and I'm trying to hold it together. Everything has
Yeah.
beauty, but not everyone sees it. And I take that, that's something that I needed to hear. It's something that I think I needed to put out there, because people will see something or someone, and I may be like, oh my God, she or he or that is beautiful. And the other person's like, what are you talking about? You don't see the flaws there, the this, that, the broken. I may see, I'm seeing the full potential of like that right there. Just, I don't know, whatever it is that you just said hit me in a different way. So that is the quote of the day. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. That's my quote for the day.
That is
So,
awesome. Love
and
it.
with that, we thank you guys for
Thank
sharing
you.
this first episode with us. And we will see you next time when we vet on this or
Or
that.
that.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you
Have a great
guys.
one.
Bye bye.